Coronavirus once again in the seat of power. French President Emmanuel Macron has tested positive. The Elysée Palace said he was showing symptoms and would isolate for 7 days while continuing to work remotely. The French Prime Minister Jean Castex also quarantining after coming into contact with Mr. Macron, as is the Spanish head of government, Pedro Sánchez. He's not the only world leader Mr. Macron has met in the last few days either. He has been busy meeting other European leaders. So let's bring you more details and take you straight to Paris and talk to Hugh Schofield. We'll come on to those other leaders in a moment, Hugh, but first, what exactly has the Elysée Palace said about President Macron and his health?
Well, I mean, not much. It's a very terse statement, which simply states what you've said, more or less, that he was diagnosed today with COVID, having developed symptoms. Now, what they're saying privately from the press office is that he's well, he's fine, va bien, which suggests that whatever symptoms he had, they were not serious ones. There doesn't seem to be any kind of alarm at the Elysée, and certainly the intention has communicated to us is that he'll keep working, but do it in isolation, obviously, and will cancel, therefore, a trip to Lebanon next week. And then his wife, also Brigitte, will go to self-isolation. And we've heard since that the various other things, the political kind of world here in France, like Jean Castex, like Pedro, the president of the National Assembly, who've met him just as in the course of their work, they will go to self-isolation too. So, I mean, there's really nothing extraordinary about this. The head of state and government has caught COVID, so he's going to have to do what all the rest of us are going to do, but there's no cause for panic, the general message.
Hugh, the net goes wider than just France, though. We're seeing pictures of President Macron meeting the Portuguese Prime Minister. He also met Pedro Sánchez. Charles Michel, we just have heard, also going into self-isolation. Has he had a busy period recently, meeting lots of different leaders? Who else could be affected?
Well, evidently, I've been looking at his calendar, so I don't know precisely who he's been seeing recently. But I want to say, in general, he does see a lot of people. And then, of course, with the European issue very much on the, the headlines with the council meeting last week, Charles Michel, President of the Council, and then Brexit, there will be ongoing talks with senior European figures. I think he saw the Egyptian leader, didn't he? Sisi at the beginning of the week too, and he was over. So yes, world leaders who've been in France will be making sure that they were not in range of the COVID during that time. And journalists like myself and you will be looking back through his agenda to see who he has met. There will be many people who will have to now go into isolation, including some very important people.
And Hugh, more broadly in France, what's the picture at the moment with infections and deaths?
Well, I mean, it's getting better. I mean, France is not in the sort of downwards spiral that some European countries seem to be in at the moment, but it's not out of the woods either. We came out of lockdown on Tuesday. There's a general feeling that the second wave, the worst of it, is over, but the figures aren't great. It's still, 70,000 daily cases. That's not where we're supposed to be at. And the idea was that around now we'd be at 5,000 cases a day. So we're out of lockdown, but we're going into curfew. It's now a nightly curfew, and there are certain fears, as in Britain, as across Europe, that with the holiday period and people coming together again, we'll see a new surge in January.
Hugh, thanks so much for joining us from Paris. So just to confirm, President Macron has COVID-19, is self-isolating. We've heard from the Spanish government, their Prime Minister is self-isolating after meeting President Macron, as is Charles Michel, the EU chief. And as Hugh was saying, we will probably get news of others in the next few hours too, and we'll certainly bring you up to date with that when we do.